So, so tell me, okay, so what happened in the lucid dream, how you saw him, and describe him if you can.
Okay. The lucid dream was like, so before I went to sleep, I was feeling some really negative energy, where it feels like that hesitation in your chest. But it's like, it's not you having, that anxiety, like you can feel something in the room with you. And I felt really tired, like all my energy was being drained out of me. And so when I went to sleep and I had this dream where I was sitting in my room, like everything was as it was, except my computer was against a different wall. Everything was like kind of dark in the room. And I felt like a dark shadow presence behind me. And then like the room shifted so that I was actually in a living room. It was supposed to be my house, but it looked a little different. And I was sitting on the couch, and I saw a dark specter, probably around 7 or 8 foot tall, probably around like 7'5" or so. But it was all like kind of cloaked, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. Sorry if I'm cursing.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I knew like I couldn't wake myself up, like I couldn't scream or anything. I knew he was coming. So I was sitting on the couch, and he came around. It's not like a walk, but it was like a kind of like a glide, but I can't see feet. And like at this point, his face was kind of like revealed, and I could see him out of like my peripheral. So he had like his eyes came from like a black pit with the milky white eyes to me. And then he had that toothy grin. I wouldn't say that. I don't know if it was like lips per se, or they were just thinned and pulled back all the way. It was very terrifying. Like his skin was like a pale white, but it almost had like a slight green tint. But he was wearing his like that broad rimmed hat, kind of like how the Amish wear their hats. With his long, scraggly black hair, it kind of looked like a greasy look to it. And I could just like he moved his hand around my back so that I could feel it, like like when someone touches you. But this is all in I call it like a super lucid dream, where you can just feel the touch and the coldness of his skin. And he whispers something into my ear, but I can't really quite hear what it says. It's not something I can like easily forget. So, I could see it all the time. So it's like a really strong memory, like it actually happened. Well, technically, I guess it did. But yeah, that was the first time that I had seen his teeth.
Wow.
And that was I'd say that was about like December, because that's when I or like in either November or December, and that's right around when I drew it.
Wow. And so with the face again, because I've heard I've interviewed maybe like 4 or 5 others that have seen its face. Other ones, they usually just see him, pitch black, the typical pitch black silhouette type guy. But when he reveals his face, like you just like basically said the exact same thing they said. But again, like okay, so can you describe the eyes again? The grin. Did he have a nose or like what else can you just define?
From what I can see, like from the peripheral, because I didn't want to look at him,
Oh,
even though I could see him from my side. Like his energy radius was very strong, like that horrible negative energy that you can feel. Like he was literally like right away from my face. But I think his nose was like, I want to say slits, but it wasn't like a reptile slits. It was more like, you know, like how we have like the hooded nose. So it was a little bit like a mixture of that. And then his eyes were like, they appeared like a milky white, but they were like hidden deep in like the black eye socket. So they were deep sunken. So he had that skeletal, not really like full skeletal, but you know, like, trying to think. You know, like how I drew, he's got like that ghoul type face, I guess. Where he's got like the deep cheek sockets. They're really kind of like, not like all the way out protruding, but chiseled maybe. Like sunken. Like he's, like it's dead, but not.
Okay, yeah, that sounds very terrifying. And then what other instance did you see him with that face, or was it just that one lucid dream?
That's the only time that I had seen that one in his full solid form. Did you want to hear about the first one from the Ouija board?
Yeah, sure. So how did that happen? Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to talk about the entire thing, or just up until seeing him?
Let me see. Go ahead and explain. Well, yeah, go ahead and do the whole thing if that explains how he came through. Yeah, let's go with the whole story then.
Okay. So I was talking to one of my old friends sometime around 2008. Yeah, it had to be 2008, and it was around May, because that's when I just got back from visiting an old boyfriend up in Georgia. And I asked him if he ever wanted to play a Ouija board. So my friend was an atheist, and he said sure, because he's, you know, whatever. And I had gotten this board down in like a downtown part, like a more eclectic artsy part of my city some time ago. But like I played it myself, but it, you know, you can only go so far with yourself, I guess. So I decided to do like the whole 9 yards, where we would buy the candles, but since there was no black candles around because it wasn't Halloween, we settled on red and white. So we just bought like one of each and then put them on either side of the board on his coffee table. And I guess lucky for us, it decided to storm that day. It was very like not right before hurricane season, but I suppose it would still be called a tropical depression or around that time. So we turned off all the lights, and the rain is pounding. And what seemed like, you know, playing this game for only 3 hours actually turned into 6 hours. And we were actually pretty taken aback by that. So before that, I had read that in order to kind of guarantee a, you know, like to enhance the the experience with the board, you could put blood on the board, and that's what I did. But like, it wasn't like I didn't cut myself or anything like that. It was just like chew your lip or something and just add on to it like an enhancement sort of thing. Obviously, I know that's a bad thing now, but at the time I was like, oh, I'll just give it a try. Let's see what happens. So throughout the entire board experience, it felt like we would ask it questions, and that the other person had no knowledge of, obviously. And I just remember like some of the stuff that it would say, just like I didn't know if it was talking about it itself or the friend, or if something else would happen, but it all led to very bad answers, abuse, taken advantage of, stuff like that. And like I said, after we thought it was 3 hours, because it was kind of dark outside from the storm, but it ended up being 6 hours. So I think we stopped around 10 or 11 p.m. He went to bed and I was going to lay on the couch. So I was getting ready for that. And the way his house was set up, so like there's the living room, where it's like the two couches on either side of each other. There's like a love seat. So it's kind of like a horseshoe. So in the middle of that horseshoe was the coffee table, and then to the right, the right side of that horseshoe, the couch was up against a wall that led to the porch, like the screened-in porch to the outside. And then the opposite horseshoe couch was like a walk path for the floor and the stairs that went up to the second level. In front of those, like straight on ahead, was the TV and cabinets. To the left of that, behind the stairs, was like a short hallway that led to a bathroom straight ahead of that, and then a bedroom that he wasn't using at the time. And then to the right of that, across from the bedroom / stairs, was this door that led out to the backyard, but they didn't have like a backyard in that suburb complex or gated community. It was like a golf course, and then beyond that was like a tree line and like a nature preserve woods area. So I was getting ready for bed on the couch, setting up my pillows and my blankets on the couch closest to the stairs, and I felt like there was something staring at me. So I looked up to see this entity thing standing in front of that door. I couldn't tell if it was like the moonlight, because there definitely wasn't any lighting. Like, we had shut the lighting off. Maybe there was like a night light in the kitchen, but that was it. And so I don't know if it was like whatever small light was bouncing off his face, or if it was his actual face emitting the glow. But I think he was like around, he was either 6'5" or 7 something. I can't tell, but he was pretty close to the ceiling, or at least like the top of his hat was. Again, he was wearing like that long or wide brimmed hat that I commonly refer to as like the Amish hat. It was all black, and then he was wearing an all black suit although he did have white accents up at the neck where the suit meets at the collar. He had he had kind of like an angled face, almost triangular, going to a point down to his chin. Kind of like if you look at renderings of how the gray aliens are, sort of a lot like that, but not a gray alien. I just want to be very specific with that. His face, this color of his skin was a pristine, full-on white, like just the color white, but it like his skin looked very smooth. I didn't see his hands, so he might have just been holding them behind himself, or they were gloved, or I don't know, hidden somewhere. His eyes were very, very large, black. I could see the light, some kind of light gleaming off of them, like bouncing back. And then his nose was like, they were slits, but there was that small, like, bump over it, kind of like how a reptile is. But there were no scales or anything like that. And then his mouth was thinned. I didn't see any lips, but they could have also just been thinned in the same color as his face. His hair was not black. It was like a silvery white, and it was long coming down, probably a little bit past his shoulders, but then that was it. I did not feel any negativity from him at this time. When I looked at him, he just looked very, very beautiful to me. But as like months passed after that and years, he was not the same beautiful thing that he originally showed me. He was very, very malevolent.